Hello, everyone. I'm back. But this time I'm doing this podcast form because I am a busy man and editing is way too much freaking work. I gotta tell you. I don't even know if this is sounding good. Hold on. There's little bubbles. I don't know how this is working. I'm just kind of, hold on. I'm going to get you nice and close now. Oh, I'm getting you nice and close now. Don't be too scared now. Yeah, so I'm doing podcasting now because reviews have been a little too much work for me, but I want to keep doing this because I love talking about movies, but I don't have the time. And in case you didn't know, which most of you don't know, the whole two of you, there's maybe one person out there that knows what the hell goes on in my life. The other people don't know. For those who don't know, though, I don't know what I'm talking about. I have been drinking today. That's what's fun about this. Anyways, for those who don't know, I'm a bar manager, which means that my job takes up about 50, well, somewhere between 50 to 70 hours of my life. I also own my own business where I clean houses, which means that takes up another 5 to 10 hours of my week, meaning that I work about somewhere between 50 and, 90 hours a week. And then I'm also a bingo caller, which takes up another 2 hours of my week, which means I'm a busy man, which means that movie reviews wasn't quite working out for me because I don't have time to film a video and then edit a video. But I still want to do this. And I was thinking about it this week. And I thought, what's the best way to do this? Well, I could just do a podcast, go live. You guys could all see that I go all over the place. My brain is crazy. And I don't edit it. Maybe people are entertained by it. Maybe they're not. I don't care. I do this because I like doing this, not because I give a flying flippity foo flaw. How many people are watching this? Which there's no one watching. I'm just crazy. So, anyways, I want to talk about movies I saw this week. And that's the first thing that I'm going to talk about. I just want to talk about all the movies I saw this week. Uh, every year, my kind of goal is to see 100 movies before I ever make like a top 10 of the year list. And I think I'm at like 91 or 92 for the year of 2021. So I'm just going to talk about some movies that I've seen the last week. Hopefully by next week, I'm hoping that maybe I'll have a top 10 best, top 10 worst. I don't know. I'm hoping to keep these podcasts about an hour long. And the first thing I always want to do with this is just tell you what's going on in life. And then I want to talk about the movies that I saw in the last week. So, I told you about my life, I guess. I'm a busy flipping guy. I don't have time to edit things. I'm an alcoholic. Not really. I'm not really an alcoholic. I'm an alcohol enthusiast. I like to drink when doing this, though. I do the same thing a lot of times when I'm doing bingo because it just keeps me fun and loosey goosey, like Kermit the Frog. You know what I'm saying? I'm also crazy, but it's good kind. It's the fun kind. Anyways, let's talk about movies, shall we, guys? So I just want to talk about a few movies I saw this week. First of all, I watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This movie stars Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield. It is a true story of a woman named Tammy Faye who grew up in Minnesota. She was big into religion and stuff like that. She met a guy, can't remember the guy's name. But anyways, they got married. They started this empire in which they were on TV talking about religion. Eventually, they opened up like a religious amusement park that ended up not really working out because, well, the husband went to prison because he was scamming people from money, such like that. I had no clue about this true story. I knew absolutely nothing about this movie going in. This movie is very interesting. Jessica Chastain, I guess, first watched the documentary for this movie by the same title back in 2012 when she was like doing Dark 30. And she just wanted to make a movie ever since. It took this long to get it out. This movie is very interesting. I don't hate this movie. This movie is not one I'm ever going to watch again. It is a very interesting biopic, and it focuses mostly on Tammy Faye. It focuses on the perspective of Tammy Faye. And Tammy Faye was a very interesting person, and Jessica Chastain portrays her in a very interesting way. Tammy Faye was known for dressing very crazily, for looking kind of crazily. And she was just all around kind of a crazy person. But the thing that Jessica Chast I can't talk because I've been drinking too much. Jessica Chastain, Jessica Chastain, Jessica Chastain. The thing Jessica Chastain really does with this character makes her a person and shows that she's not crazy. Whether she is or not, I don't know. At the end of the day, this movie is very interesting, and a lot from what I did with my little amount of research, a lot in this movie actually does happen. A lot of these things are real, and because of that, I found this movie very interesting. I didn't know anything about this, and watching this movie taught me a whole heck of a lot. So at the end, I actually really liked The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It's not on my top of 2021, but it is an interesting movie. The performances are fantastic. Just everything you learn about this movie as you're watching it is very interesting. At the end of the day, I give this movie like a 7 out of 10. Nothing spectacular, but it is an interesting watch. It's on HBO Max. That's where I saw it. Maybe check it out if you're interested in it. Next up, I watched The Suicide Squad this week. Now, this was actually the last movie I ever reviewed on this channel. I have no clue how many views are on it. I don't care. And when I saw this movie the first time, I liked it. I didn't love it. I was at like a 7 out of 10 for it. I watched this movie again because it is on HBO Max. And I gotta say, I liked the movie more the second time. The first time I watched this movie, I don't know what it was about it. I thought it was a little too crazy. I liked all the characters in it and such like that. Everything technical about the movie I really liked about it. But there was something about it that I just didn't like about this movie. And this time around, I think I liked it a little bit more. I think when I gave this movie a review the first time, I gave it like a 7 out of 10. This time around, I'm not usually into point fives, but this time around, I give it like a 7.5, even an 8. This movie's crazy, but it knows it's crazy. All the characters are absolutely insane. Uh, but it's a James Gunn movie, and James Gunn realizes it's insane, and he wants it to be insane. And I still kind of go by what I said in my review for this movie, I believe, when I originally reviewed it, that the Harley Quinn stuff feels like it's in a completely different movie. It feels like Birds of Prey, the sequel, and it doesn't need to be in this movie. And while I like the Harley Quinn stuff in this movie, I think it gets a little bogged down in it, and it just kind of feels like Margot Robbie wanted to be in the movie, so we have to do the side plot with her in the movie and have the rest of the characters do something else. And that for me was the worst part of this movie while also being a great part of this movie, if that makes any sense, because the Harley Quinn stuff is really great. I love the Harley Quinn stuff. But again, it feels like Birds of Prey too. All the other Suicide Squad people are out doing their own thing, and it feels like we have to cut back to cut back. And this movie could have been like 2 hours long instead of 2 hours and 15 minutes like it is. So at the end of the day, I really like Suicide Squad. If you still have not seen Suicide Squad, this is a movie that bombed at the box office. Go check it out. It's on HBO Max. Support this movie because it is a really great movie. It is bombastic. It is out there. It is absolutely crazy, but it's also a movie I kind of like because I am crazy. James Gunn has a sick sense of humor that I also kind of semi have too. So for that reason, I do like this movie, and I think it's one people should check out. All right, throw another movie at you. We're gonna talk about a lot. I can't talk today, guys. You know what helps? By the way, I'm drinking Crown Apple on the rocks. Not Crown Apple, Crown Peach. Crown Peach. Drinking on the rocks. That's what I'm drinking, if you're wondering. I don't know why you'd be wondering that. Again, this is gonna go crazy and weird. But anyways, let's talk about another movie I saw this week. Another movie I saw this week was Harry Potter, the 20th anniversary special. I don't know if you want to call this a movie, but I kind of am. It's about a 70-minute long documentary and just talks about, or oh my gosh, well, it's kind of a documentary. I don't know. It is a reunion special. It brought back a lot of the cast of Harry Potter, and it, it did a nice job of kind of separating each part into movie. And it was very interesting, I'm not gonna lie, and as a Harry Potter fan, I did love it. It you know, is it nostalgia kinda thrown at you? Yes. Is it a HBO reunion special? Yes, but I liked it. And the last half hour of this movie, I mean, I was kinda crying. I was bawling. The last half hour, they're talking about some of the people in this franchise who have died, and they also kinda talk about just how much this meant to them. There's a portion of this documentary, this movie, whatever you wanna call it, in which, uh, Emma Watson talks about how she kind of wanted to quit, and I found that fascinating. And I did know about the fact that she wanted to quit, but the way she talked about it made it just all the more interesting, and it just made me look at Emma Watson a different perspective, look at the franchises a different perspective. And it was just really interesting to see. And at the end of the day, this was just really interesting. Is this the most amazing thing in the world? No, it's not. But if you're a Harry Potter fan, this is something you could really get into. And the first movie came out in 2001, 20 years ago, so 20th anniversary special, which is why they're calling it. The last one came out in 2011, so only 10 years ago. So really, it hasn't been that long since these people haven't been acting together. But at the same time, it was great just to kind of see them come back together and just reminisce. There's so many little things that they just talk about. It's just behind the scenes. This almost felt like just a bonus featurette that should have been on the last Blu-ray or something. But it's great. And like I said, I got teary-eyed watching this. Them just talking about their last day on set, talking about how much they have grown to love each other. That they are, in a sense, a family, even though they're not related. And all they did was act in a movie together, a few movies together. But it was really interesting. And again, if you're a Harry Potter fan, I think you're going to enjoy this. If you're not, well, it's a reunion special. I don't know what else to say about this, but as a reunion special, it was great. The directors were all involved with this. A lot of the actors were involved with this. I, you know, honestly, the thing that was weird about this the most was the fact that J.K. Rowling is someone that has said some things on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter. I don't pay attention to Twitter. I know she has said some things that isn't the nicest to say about certain groups of people and such like that. J.K. Rowling just says things. J.K. Rowling's one of those people that needs to get the hell off Twitter. That's what I have to say about that. And in this documentary, this special, again, I don't know what you want to call this thing, they kind of just put her in maybe 10 minutes of this hour and nearly 45-minute special. And they're all old interviews from like 2019. So it's almost like they don't want to acknowledge her, which is awkward because she created this world. That's the only like big negative I have with it. But at the end of the day, it's a reunion special. It's weird giving this a grade. For me as a Harry Potter fan, it's like an 8 out of 10. If you're just watching this and you're not a Harry Potter fan, I don't understand why you're watching this. But it's nice. Like I said, it's like a big behind the scene. It's something you would see on a Blu-ray of a movie, but it's an hour and 45 minutes nearly, and it's just nice. It gives you the feels, talks about things you like to talk about. So yeah, that's my review of the Harry Potter 20th anniversary special thing on HBO Max. Another documentary I watched is actually a kind of a documentary. It's called the Super Bob Einstein Movie. And this is just a very short 70-minute documentary talking about Bob Einstein. If you don't know who Bob Einstein was, he was a comedian. He died in 2019. Um, he had his own TV show called Super Dave. He was in some movies. He was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. A comedian. Um, and growing up, I had no clue who this guy was until I was about 13 years old. And well, it was probably younger than that. It was like 8, 9, 10, early teens. My father brought home a VHS copy of the Super Dave movie. And that was my first experience with Bob Odenstein. And so Super Dave was a TV show he did. This was the movie of it, and Super Dave was basically Evil Knievel, and he did these weird stunts. It was the movie version of that. It's slapstick humor. He gets hit in the face a lot. He gets injured a lot, as Evil Knievel would if he was a comedian, kind of thing. So if you don't know anything about Bob Obstein, I don't know how you say his name. Bob Einstein. If you know anything about Bob, this is a great little documentary to watch. He did a lot that did some things for comedy. He went on, like he was very much well known for going on Tonight, like the Tonight Show and stuff, and just doing this interesting, awkward comedy. And honestly, I've never seen his show. I've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've never seen any of those things. The only thing I've really seen is the Super Dave movie. But when he did die in 2019, I do remember that, and I do remember going, "Oh, Super Dave's dead," and that's about it. So this documentary was really interesting. It really is only it's a 70-minute documentary. It's not very long. I can't say I know much about his life necessarily. I've learned more about his career, his body of work, some of the things he's done. They have some very famous comedians in there and stuff. Jerry Seinfeld's in there talking about him. I think Billy Crystal's in there. Sarah Silverman, she pops up. So it's a very interesting little documentary. It's nothing spectacular, but I did enjoy watching it. I wouldn't say that I got super educated by it. I know more about his career more than anything, which it doesn't hurt. And I learned that he was, at the end of the day, a very nice human being. From what they all said, he was a very great human being, which kind of just reminds me. I mean, Sunday we just had a comedian die, Bob Saget. From what people are saying about Bob Saget, from what people are saying about Bob Einstein in this documentary, they seem very familiar. They had a bit of a dark humor, but at the end of the day, they were very just kind, wonderful human beings that we lost at too young of an age. Because I believe Bob Einstein was in his 60s, 70s when he died. I don't quote me on that. But he died younger than, someone like Betty White, who just died at 99 years old, nearly 100. Um, and that's what I really got from this, is that he was this great human being, and it sucks that he went, and that we all should wish we could have met these people, because they of just how nice they were and how great they were, and what we can learn from their career, what we can learn from them, even though they're not with us anymore. If that makes any sense. It should. I don't know. Maybe. I'm gonna take another drink. But anyways, that was that documentary. It was very interesting to watch. Is it the greatest documentary in the world? No. I still don't know how he died. Honest to God. Um, I want to say it was like a heart attack or something natural causes, nothing horrible. But at the end of the day, he did die younger than he should have. And I guess I wish the documentary had just talked more about his life. I got an idea of his career. He was just kind of a comedian that went on a lot of talk shows. He had his show Super Dave, in which he played this evil Knievel comedic character. That's all I got, really. And I just learned he was just this great human being. That's about it. At the end of the day, I'll give this documentary like a 7 out of 10. Again, it's nothing spectacular, but I really enjoyed it. And if you know who Bob was, maybe check it out. If you don't know who Bob is, this might be a good introduction just to learn who he was. Uh, I have not seen anything of his work besides the Super Dave movie, which is not the greatest movie in the world, but it's from my childhood. It's one of those movies that you just love because it's from your childhood. Yeah. All right, moving on to the next movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. I've seen this movie 4 times now. This week I saw it again, and God, do I love this movie. Uh, I don't usually put Marvel movies on my top Marvel movies list until the movie's out, like on Blu-ray. I need to give it time to make sure that it's just not a brand new movie. Now I saw Eternals. I haven't had a review of that up at all. I haven't talked about that movie at all. I did not like Eternals. It is slow and boring, and there's way too many characters in there. It feels like Iron Man 2, but not quite as good of Iron Man 2. It feels like it's setting up stuff, but wasn't a fan of Eternals. I have not seen that twice. I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home 4 times now, and every time I've loved it. Now, opening day, I went and saw Spider-Man No Way Home, and this was the first time since Avengers Endgame in 2019 that the crowd was just going insane. And I live in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We don't usually have crowds in our movie theaters. We really don't. There have been maybe 10 movies I can count on my hands that we've had crowds of people in a movie theater. And there have been very few movies in which we have screamed and cheered like you see on YouTube reactions or in the bigger cities. This movie got that. Uh, I don't want to spoil it. Maybe if there's extra time in this video, I want these podcasts to go about an hour long. If there's extra time in this first podcast here, maybe I'll talk about Spider-Man No Way Home spoilers. But this movie, while it has there's a lot of fan service in this, which is a lot of things that people are screaming about. But that's not why I love this movie. This movie just does things. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man, he's probably in my top 3 characters of all time. Batman's got to be number 1. Iron Man's a close second. Deadpool, the 3 up here. Wolverine's a great character. Spider-Man's got to be in my top 5. Spider-Man's just, he's a kid. And I like that. And this movie shows that. And this movie's insane. It does things. There's not much to talk about. All I can say is I love this movie. There's a couple little nitpicky things. Even watching it for a 4th time, there's things that I'm picking up on that I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but I don't freaking care. It does something that I love. And for people saying that Marvel movies, superhero movies are killing movie theaters, I have to disagree with you. And the reason I disagree is because this movie is the 2nd highest grossing opening of all time in the middle of a pandemic. This movie is still breaking records. It's still breaking records. It's been out, this is its 4th week out now. It's still breaking records. And it's one of the highest grossing movies of all time in a pandemic. Imagine if this movie had came out in 2020 with no COVID. This movie, it might have hit Avatar and Avengers Endgame numbers. I don't know for sure, but the fact that we are in the middle of a pandemic, there's these just things are the wave of COVID. We're going down again. This movie's doing fantastic, and movie theaters are loving that this movie is in their theaters because they're making money off of it. I don't know. I love this movie. I know not everyone likes superhero movies. Personally, I don't understand it. I really don't. And for people to say that I actually was so like I said, I'm a bar manager at a bar, and I was talking to a customer, and he was talking about how superheroes suck because special effects drive the movie. I disagree with that. This movie, at the end of the day, is about a teenager wanting to get into college. Yes, a lot more things happen from there. Yes, there's a lot of special effects. Yes, if you watch any behind the scenes of Spider-Man No Way Home, there's a lot of blue screen, there's a lot of green screen, there's a lot of wires, there's all that crap in this movie. But this movie is very, very much an emotional movie. I got very choked up watching this movie even for the 4th time. This is a great movie. And I just don't understand you people that don't like these movies. I really don't. I accept it. I respect you. I understand in the sense why you don't like them, but this is a great movie, guys. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I hope I have time to talk about this afterwards, and we can go into spoilers maybe next week. I don't know. I want to talk about this movie in spoilers, though. Anyways, at the end of the day, guys, this movie's like a 9 out of 10 for me. I love this movie. This is probably going to be top 10 Marvel movies for me. Again, I kind of like to wait until the Blu-ray comes out. Let me really take time to think about it. And the last time I saw this movie in its fourth week, I think there were still like 20 people in this auditorium. Um, another movie I'll talk about this movie right now. I went and saw the 355 right now last night. 355. I was the only one in that theater, and it's opening week essentially. No one was in there. And that just goes to show you how full an Eau Claire, Wisconsin theater is. It's not very full usually. So I was the only one in there. The 355, this is like at, I want to say 26% on the tomato meter. It should not be that low. This is not a good movie. This is not a bad movie. This is a January action mediocre movie that I kind of wish was doing better. And here's why. Jessica Chastain was the one who I guess had the idea for this movie, of a movie with female leads. They're female spies. And she was kind of making this movie for years. She picked Simon Kinberg to direct this movie. Why she picked him, I'm not sure. X-Men Dark Phoenix was the first movie he ever made, and it wasn't good. Jessica Chastain wasn't that good in it either, honestly. And I don't know why she picked him, but she did. The movie's fine. The movie is nothing spectacular. It's not a bad movie. It's not a good movie. I'm not going to recommend you go see it. But I do wish it was doing better because of the fact that Jessica Chastain was the one who started this. I believe all the actresses involved put their money towards it, and they control everything with this movie, essentially. And that's why I wish it was doing better. It kind of bombed. It's opening weekend here. And I wish it was doing better just because it is female women up front and center controlling a movie. And there are some decent action scenes. At the same time, this movie looks like Kermit the Frog was filming it. It's that shit. I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised by this. It's from the producers of Jason Bourne, but some action sequences. And I know Jessica Chastain specifically talked about how she did all her own stunts. If she's doing her own stunts, why the heck is it crap? Oh my God, I'm getting comments in. Hell, strip teases. Yeah, I'm gonna block these guys. I don't need this crap. Is anybody else sick of spam? I know we're supposed to talk about movies here, but I just want to talk about other things here. Anybody else sick of spam? I get these text messages, these emails. Spam, 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 spam. Sex, 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 sex. Grow your dick. I don't sign up for this stuff. I don't want this stuff. Why am I getting it? Rant over. Anyways, the 355, guys, it's fine. It's nothing spectacular. I'll give it like a 4 out of 10. I don't remember. I'm not going to remember this movie in a year's time. I wish I did, though, because I do want women to have movies. I want there to be, as much as I want James Bond to continue, the idea of Jane Bond is actually fascinating to me, and I kind of would like to see it, but at the same time, I don't want Jane Bond. I just want Melissa Johnson. I just want a spy franchise with a woman in the lead, or women in the lead. I just said weed. I kind of want some weed. Anyway, I just want. I like the idea of women leading a movie. One of my favorite movies of all time, Mad Max Fury Road from 2015. Charlize Theron steals that movie from Tom Hardy, and it's Tom Hardy. I love that. Yet, what movie was higher grossing that year? 50 Shades of Grey. I hate that because Anastasia Steele is not a strong, independent woman in that movie. Also, the same year, a Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, in which Rebecca Ferguson basically steals the movie from Tom Cruise. I want strong women. I want movies in which there's diversity and stuff like that. I like that idea, but I want good ones. So, yeah, it's tough. It's weird. But yes, at the end of the day, the 355. It's not a great movie. If you wanna support female-led movies, this is a movie, so you're not gonna hate yourself for watching it. There's some dumb things that happen. There's some decent action sequences, some other action sequences that I hated. But at the end of the day, it's fine. That's my review of the 355. Next up, I saw the movie Together. Together stars James McAvoy, another British actress. I have no clue who it is. It was filmed either during COVID or a little after COVID. And this movie all takes place in one house. And James McAvoy is the boyfriend, basically, with this woman who's obviously his girlfriend. And they have a child together. And this movie was very. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. This movie was very interesting. It opens basically with James McAvoy and his girlfriend going, "I hate you. I wish you would die. I hate your face." It's very interesting in the sense. It's a very dark comedy. Um, and then the movie kind of just goes on from there. It has a lot of political COVID talk in it. Things about, oh, wear a mask and get vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. Those are the parts I didn't like about the movie. I didn't mind that this movie had COVID in it, though. I didn't mind that this movie was a story about a boyfriend and girlfriend who have a son together, who hate each other. I kind of like that's the part of this movie that I really liked, actually. And when the movie opened with them going, "Yeah, I hate your face. You just repulse me. You're disgusting. I hate you." I was laughing and was enjoying myself, and I found myself going, "Okay, where are we going from here?" At the end of the day, this is a it's not a great movie, but I'm gonna say this movie was good. I like this movie a lot, and that might be my messed up, insane brain liking the fact that people are insulting each other for an hour and a half. I don't know for sure, but I like this movie. It's on Hulu. I I don't know if I can recommend it. If you have dark humor like I do, maybe you should check it out. That's about all I have to say. I don't wanna say too much about it because at the end of the day, I knew nothing about this movie going in. I just knew it came out this year. We're at the end of the year. Every year, my goal is to watch at least 100 movies that have came out in the year that the year's ending. So I watched it because it came out in 2021. I don't hate this movie. I don't think I'm ever watching it again. There are just moments of insane things that did it come again? How do I block somebody? I don't know. Hold on. We're just gonna report these people because I don't like them. Again, we're going back. You know what? I'm gonna hide the chat here. Um, maybe I can't hide the chat. I don't know, guys. I'm learning this. You're literally seeing this being learnt as I'm doing it. Anyways, what are we even talking about? Anyways, I watched the movie Together. I like this movie. It's nothing spectacular. If you have Hulu, maybe check it out. Next movie I want to talk about. It's another true story. It's called Zola. This movie's on Showtime. It is a story about a stripper that gets invited by another stripper that she just met to Florida, and things go from there. Now, I watched this movie in its entirety, got to the end, and when I'm done watching a movie, sometimes I like to see what other people are saying. So I go on YouTube, I'll go online, and just see what other people are saying about this movie. I didn't know this was a true story. This movie is based on a Twitter thread. It's like 150 Twitter tweets on an actual weekend that happened. And this movie, from what I read from the Twitter thread, because I immediately went to the Twitter thread, this movie is very accurate from what the Twitter Twitter thread is, and it's insane. Just insane. I can't believe some of the decisions that were made in this movie and in real life, I guess. Um, the best way I can describe this movie is 2019's Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. This is a movie in which your main character makes a decision that's stupid and then goes on to make another decision that's even stupider. And then goes on to make another decision that's even stupider. The difference between this movie and Uncut Gems is very serious. That movie gave me an anxiety attack. I don't ever want to watch that movie again because I was just stressed out. This movie is again, it's another dark comedy, similar to Together, where things are happening that you just laugh at, that you shouldn't be. And that's why I did like this movie. Is this movie I'm ever gonna watch again? No, it stressed me out. But I like that this movie stressed me out in a different way than what a movie like Uncut Gems did. I'm gonna give this movie the same rating I gave Uncut Gems, I think. Gave Uncut Gems at the time. I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's weird. I don't want to say too much about it. This is a movie I don't want to spoil it. A lot of the movies I'm talking about today, you just need to go see it. Like I said, it's on Showtime. If you have the Showtime app, I get Showtime with Hulu, Spotify, all that fun stuff, that bundle. This is a really interesting movie. It's called Zola. I would recommend this movie. It's insane. And again, it's a movie that's going to stress you out that your main character, Zola, is making these decisions. But check it out and look at the actual Twitter thread. It's just insane. All right, guys, I got 3 more movies to talk about. We're getting there. Next movie I want to talk about is American Underdog. Now, this movie was directed by directors that made a couple religious movies. The last one that I think they did was called I Still Believe, I think, from 2019. And I saw that movie. I believe it's on Hulu as well. I'm not a religious person. I have been to church. I can count on 2 hands how many times. I'm fascinated by religion. At the end of the day, my belief on religion is we should be able to believe what we want to believe. Because at the end of the day, it's not hurting anyone. You know, if I believe something and it's not hurting you as a person, there should be no reason that I don't get to believe what I want to believe. So religion is not something that has been a part of my life. It has become a little bit more a part of my life ever since a friend came in my life about a year ago, a little over a year ago. Well, this friend came in my life longer than a year ago, but a year ago, a friend brought me to church with his family for Christmas. And I found it fascinating. And I found myself wanting to go back to church. So religion is something interesting to me. Anyways, we got a little off track here. So it's the same directors as movies with religion and such in it. What I hate about movies that talk about religion a lot of times is that their end message of a lot of movies are preaching to me that I need to believe in God, that I need to be a Catholic, or I'm a horrible human being. Well, I can tell you right now, I have not been to church more than 10 times in my life. I am not a horrible human being. I am one of the most loyal human beings you've ever met. I will do anything for anybody. I will take off the clothes off my back right now and go outside in this Eau Claire weather where it's like 10 degrees outside, completely naked. If someone needs my clothes, I will do that. Won't even think about it. So therefore, I'm not a horrible human being. And if a movie tells me I'm a horrible human being, I don't like that. And that's why I don't always like religious movies. I don't seek them out. And the reason why I talk about this is because, yes, those directors did direct those other movies like that. There's a couple movies that they've directed in which I feel like their end message is you need to believe in God, which I don't agree with necessarily. I don't believe I need to believe in a certain God, this, that, otherwise. That's not what this channel's about. This channel's about movies. We're talking about American Underdog. In American Underdog, the main actor, Kurt, this is a true story, if you don't know. I didn't know anything about this. I am not a big football guy. I'm a movie guy. So I didn't know anything about Kurt Warner before going into this movie. I remember seeing the trailers for this movie and thinking, wow, this movie's going to be cheesy, paint by numbers, which the movie kind of is. This movie is, however, a very much feel good movie. It's an inspirational movie. Uh, it really is an incredible true story. For those who don't know, Kurt Warner was an NFL he's still alive. He is an NFL player. He's no longer playing in the NFL anymore. That's what I mean by was. Um, he was an NFL player that was working at like a Hy-Vee. He just wanted to play basketball or play football. Good God. I'm gonna take another drink. I'm sure it's gonna help. Anyway, he played football for the NFL. His dream his entire life was to play football for the NFL. And he eventually got to the NFL, just having this dream. Uh, his wife that he meets in the movie and becomes his wife, uh, she's very much a religious person. She brings religion into his life, that kind of stuff. And that's where religion comes in place. And this is a movie that deals with religion. It's not about religion. It's more about Kurt Warner becoming a football player. I like religion in this movie. I like the parts of religion they bring into this movie. It's not in your face. It doesn't tell me I have to believe anything, but it brings religion into the movie while also telling this very inspirational, for the most part, from what, again, I have researched. My research is not vast. I've told you I work like 80 hours a week. I don't have time to do a whole heaping lot of research. But from what I've read, what I've looked up, this is very much true to what happened in real life. And it is a very inspirational story. This movie is, like I said, very much like I thought it was going to be when I saw the trailer. Very much paint by number. Very much just an inspirational movie. If you like this kind of movie, if you like something like The Blind Side, if you like, the biopics where someone starts, even like something like Bohemian Rhapsody with Freddie Mercury, if you like a underdog movie, you're probably going to like this movie. I went in thinking I wasn't going to like this movie, and I ended up really liking this movie. It's not going to be in my top 10, but it's a good movie. I'm probably at a 7 out of 10 on this movie. I like this movie a lot. I would recommend it. As far as negatives go, I mean, the pacing's a bit off. It's about a 2-hour long movie. It doesn't need to be 2 hours. You know everything that's going to happen. Again, I knew nothing about Kurt Warner going into this. I knew everything that was going to happen. To the point that I was like, you were about to say these words. And he said something very close to those words. She said something very close to those words. This is very much a paint by number movie. If you're okay with that, you're going to enjoy this. I recommend this movie. It's a good movie. Yes, it has a religion in it. I don't think it hams it in your face like some religious movies do, which these directors have even directed themselves. So I would recommend this movie. Check it out. 7 out of 10 for me. 2 more movies to talk about here, guys. One of them is Swan Song on Apple TV Plus. Swan Song is a movie starring Mahershala Ali. He's an Academy Award winner. He won an Academy Award twice, actually. Twice in a row, I think. He won it for Moonlight 2016. Or has he won it twice in a row? I don't think he's won it twice in a row. He's won 2 Oscars, I think. One was for Moonlight, 2016, 2017 Oscars. The other one would have been no, I think it was twice in a row. Because it would have been no, no, because 2018 was when he won for Green Book, won the 2019 Oscars, something like that. I don't know for sure. Point is, he's won Oscars. Mahershala Ali, he stars in this movie with Naomi Harris. Glenn Close is in this movie. A couple other people popped up that had no clue. Knew nothing about this movie going in. I knew it was kind of like a science fiction drama, and that is 100% what this movie is. Mahershala Ali's character is dying of something like cancer. Is a disease that he is going to die from. Um, in order to protect his family, he has a wife and child. Uh, he decides to like clone himself, and this clone is an exact version of him. Almost the only thing that's not the same about this clone is one freckle, so that he can like look at his hand and go, "Oh, I am me. This is not a clone over here. That's the clone over here. I am me." This is a very interesting movie. Um, if this was something that happened in real life, this movie kind of questions that. Like, if this was life, how would we handle this kind of situation? What would we do? Like, is this ethical? Is this right? This is a very interesting movie. Um, there's definitely moments of this movie that I found myself wanting to look at my phone. Part of that might have been the fact that this is on Apple TV Plus, not in a movie theater, which I hate. Um, I hate that we're not seeing independent movies, at least in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I'm talking from the perspective of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Um, we don't get a lot of independent movies around here. We do have to see stuff on Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and I hate that. I want to see a movie in a theater. Um, but I did find myself wanting to look at my phone quite a few times during this movie. And it's not a bad it's a really good movie. Um, it definitely has moments though where I wanted to look at my phone. It got slow. It got I think this movie was trying a little too hard to put that question out there of should we be doing this? Is this right? Is this ethical? But at the end of the day, I really like this movie. 7 out of 10 movie for me. Very interesting premise. I kind of wish that it was a little better with the premise that it had. I love this premise. The idea that you can clone yourself and have it be an exact version of you. This exact version of you has to learn all your memories, learn everything about you, so that it can go to your family, and your family not realize that you're dead when you could be dead. That's interesting to me. But at the end of the day, I wish this movie was a little bit better. Still really like the movie. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. One more movie. The last movie I want to talk about today. The Lost Daughter. It is a movie that is directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's in that movie actually right there, The Dark Knight. She plays Rachel. But anyway, she directs this movie. This is her directorial debut. Um, this is an interesting movie. It's based on a book. This movie is mostly told through the perspective of this woman that is like 48 years old. And this is another movie I don't want to talk too much about. You need to watch it. What you find out about this movie is that this woman has done a lot of things, made some decisions in her life that are interesting. Um, this is a hardcore drama. This is a movie that makes you not want to have kids. Um, yeah, it's just a really interesting movie. Another movie though that I found myself wanting to look at my phone. This is a hardcore drama. I feel like if I was a parent, I would like this movie more. This movie deals with a lot of the struggles that a parent goes through, um, and how we maybe shouldn't judge people for some decisions that they make while being a parent, because you don't realize how hard it is until you become a parent. I myself don't want to be a parent. I never want kids. Um, and this movie just shows me why I don't want to have kids. Not because, again, I'm not a bad person. I'm great with kids. I really am. Like I said, I work at a bar. Kids will come up to me. It's a bar and restaurant. Kids will come up to me all the time. I'm great with them. You would have never thought I don't want kids. You would think I would want to have kids, that I love kids. I don't. Because at the end of the day, I am a big child. Like I said, I'm a bingo caller. One of my jokes, when I call I 27, I say, guys, I'm 27. And then let's say I call the number B13. They say, yep, guys, I'm 27, but my maturity level is 13. Because at the end of the day, I'm a grown adult. I have a 27-year-old body, but my mind, my maturity level is a 13-year-old. You may have figured that out from this video, except for the fact I can drink. Anyways, I'm immature. Maybe that's why I don't want kids, because I don't want a Cody in my life. I'm a Cody that doesn't want a Cody. Anyways, this movie's really interesting. It got nominated for a bunch of Golden Globes. I don't pay attention to the Golden Globes. That is why I watch this movie, because a lot of times, a lot of movies that the Golden Globe nominates will end up being an Oscar talk. This movie is beautifully done. Maggie Gyllenhaal has a great eye for this kind of stuff. I could see her making some really interesting movies. This is a great directorial debut, and I really like this movie. I highly suggest it. I don't want to say too much about it again. I've said a lot of the same things tonight about all these movies, and I'm going to give this same score as I've given a lot of movies tonight, and that's a 7 out of 10. I don't love this movie, and again, I think it's because I'm not a parent, but it is a great emotional drama that everyone should be watching. So that's all the movies I've seen this week, guys. Next thing I want to talk about is just some upcoming movies that are coming up. Guys, Scream 5 is coming out, called Scream. Kind of the same thing Halloween did. I'm interested in this movie. I'll be honest, I have not always been a huge Scream fan. I actually saw Scream 1, 2, 3, 4 for the very first time during the COVID lockdown. So I only saw these movies like 2 years ago. I really like these movies. These movies are fun horror movies. They're very meta, and I really like that. I'm interested to see what this new movie will be. This is the first one Wes Craven is not involved with. Wes Craven died. I'm interested in this. Uh, I follow some people on YouTube. I follow some people online. There's a lot of mixed things. So some people are really loving this movie. Some people are really hating this movie. I'm just really excited to see it. I don't know if I'll get to see it on Thursday. Uh, I'm hopefully going to be able to see it within the next week here. But I'm excited to see it. And, you know, from what I don't want. So I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Halloween 2018. I like that movie. I don't love that movie. I love the original, I think it's 1978 version of Halloween. I liked the 2018 Halloween. I didn't love it. I liked it. I love the original 1978 version. 2018 Halloween, it did some things that I really liked, and I was hoping that the sequels would really build upon. Halloween Kills was a piece of crap. I don't think the movie's gonna be in my top 10 worst movies of 2021. Top 20, yes. I did not like the movie Halloween Kills, like, at all. That movie is dumb. I have happy memories of that movie because I went and saw that with a friend. Luke, you're probably not watching. If you are, I had fun watching that movie with you. And Luke had never seen a single Halloween. That was his first Halloween movie he ever saw. So it was a fun experience for me. But at the end of the day, I did not like Halloween Kills. I'm hoping that this Scream 5 is not what Halloween 2018 is, where I go, okay, I like that movie. I'm hoping sequels will make this movie that much better. And then we get sequels that suck. I don't want it to be that. I hope Scream 5 is good. The fact that we got the original cast back, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, I forget the name of the main girl. God, I suck. I've been drinking too much today. Anyways, I'm excited for Scream 5. Let me know what you think. We're at 55 minutes here. That's all I really had planned to talk about. You know what? We're going to get into spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home because I just want to talk about this movie. So if you haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, stop watching right here. Stop watching. Just stop. Because I'm going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. Guys, the fact that we got Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back for this movie is just insane. We kind of knew what was going to happen with everything that was going on the internet. We kind of knew it was going to happen. But just the way they introduced him was insane. Andrew Garfield. Holy cow. Do I love Andrew Garfield? So far, as of now, my favorite movie of 2021 is Tick, Tick, a Boom. Spoiler alert. I loved Andrew Garfield's performance in that movie. I love Andrew Garfield's performance in Spider-Man No Way Home. He is just insane. I can tell how much Andrew Garfield loves this character. I can tell how much Andrew Garfield wanted to redeem his character. And I love how they redeemed him in No Way Home. Yeah, that's the big thing to say. That's the thing that my crowd was just screaming for the first 2 times I watched this. The first time I watched this movie, I went and saw it, immediately got out and picked another showtime about an hour later to watch again. Because I wanted to see people just react to this movie. And the way they introduce them through the portals, which was something I found, that's one of my nitpicks with this movie. The fact that, I forget the friend. What's the friend's name? I don't know. Peter's friend, Ned. Ned, I think that's it. Ned can just fucking create portals. That was weird to me. And the fact that Doctor Strange makes this spell without first going, okay, so don't say anything while I'm making the spell or you're going to break the universe. There's little nitpicks for me. But at the end of the day, I don't care. This movie's so great. I loved the humor in this movie. I love Willem Dafoe, too. Holy crap. That man's incredible. Alfred Molina coming back for this movie, great. Jamie Foxx coming back for this movie, great. Sandman and Lizard just don't need to be in this movie. From what I'm hearing, those 2 actors could not even make the movie. They were doing other things, so they just kind of used their voices and stuff and used deleted scenes. I wish they weren't even in the movie for that sense. They don't need to be. I think you could have had just Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Electro in this movie and have the 3 villains. But this movie's great no matter what. Again, at the end of the day, there's a bunch of nitpicking things that I'm complaining about. But at the end of the day, I love that this movie is just Peter wanting his friends to get into college. That ending where they all forget who Peter is. I love that. And the fact this movie the fact that a lot of people on the internet were complaining that we didn't get an origin story from the Spider-Man, but the fact that this trilogy is an origin story is really interesting to me. And I love that they did that. I love that we have Spider-Man now. And I really am curious to see what they do with this moving forward. I'm glad Venom is not in this franchise. I saw Venom Let There Be Carnage. I didn't like the first Venom. I honestly hated it. The second one I hated even more. And when I saw that post-credit scene in Venom Let There Be Carnage, with him going into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm like, oh god, Marvel's doomed. Their movies are going to be crap from now on. And then Eternals came out not long after that. And I went, But this movie sends Venom back, which thank God. Thank God. So yeah, there's some spoiler thoughts about Spider-Man. We're getting to about an hour in this podcast. So yeah, guys, at the end of the day, this podcast is because I don't have time and energy to review movies anymore. Singularly. I don't have time to edit videos. So this is just me talking about movies. That's what this first podcast episode was about. Moving forward, I would like to just talk about some of the movies I saw throughout the week, whether they're new, whether they're old, and then just talk about things. If you're interested in me talking about certain things, please put it in the comments. I talked about a couple weird things today. Women leading movies. And there's comment here. Love face XYZ. Here, girls will do what you say. Oh, another comment. Love face XYZ. Here, girls will do what you say. Spam. We went on a spam rant during this episode. Oh, there comes another one. You know what? I'm about to end this stream and I'm going to block these people because I don't want to see their things. Guys, this is not a sex thing. We are here to talk about movies, damn it. If you want to talk about sex, we can talk about that too. Just put it in the comments below. Please do. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyways, guys, at the end of the day, I love movies. I love this idea that I get to talk about movies, even if I can't review them and edit some weird video together. I'm crazy. I like talking about movies, and it's about 5:30 where I'm at. I think I'm gonna get on my AMC app and go see a movie, even if it is a crappy movie. I go see everything, and that's why I'm doing this in very poor lighting with very poor microphone. I'm just using my Mac right now, my Mac from 2013, something in there. That actually survived a motorcycle accident too. If you see this little bald spot up here, it survived a motorcycle accident. So did my computer. Buy a Mac, guys. This has become an advertisement for Apple. Buy a Mac. It'll survive a motorcycle accident. Anyways, guys, please comment down below. The whole 0 of you watching, if you watch this for some stupid reason, please comment below. Be happy to talk about some things you want to talk about. Be happy to talk about movies you want to talk about. I'm hoping to do this. I want to do this a little earlier because there's no light left where I'm at. This is all very dark. See how dark it is? But if I go back here, you can't see my face. But if I go up here, you can see my face. Anyways, guys, I'm hoping to do this on Tuesdays at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We'll see. Today it didn't happen that way. I had to go do some things. Yeah. So look forward to the next video coming up on Tuesday, whatever day that is in January. I'd have to look. Next Tuesday, 2 o'clock p.m. I'm hoping to do another episode 2, talking about the week's movies that I saw. Till then, guys, hey, comment below. Keep watching movies because they're great, aren't they? They are. I love movies. Anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.